Welcome to Shine with Sehar. I'm Sehar Jain. This is your space, your sanctuary for healing, heartfelt conversations, and finding joy and gratitude in the everyday. Wherever you are on your journey, remember, you deserve to shine. What is breathwork? It's become such a buzzword lately.
Breath mirrors the way you exist and live. Breath is your life, right?
Are there any misconceptions or myths?
It's just breathing. I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do it. Long-term integration process would look like taking responsibility of your healing and knowing that you have that choice.
I think a lot of people who are stressed today are also people who have sedentary jobs.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Today we're diving into something super powerful yet often overlooked, breathwork. I have with me a dear friend, Richa Raheja, who's a counselor and an expert in breathwork. Welcome to the Shine with Sehar podcast.
Hi, Sehar. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So let's start. So tell me, what is breathwork? It's become such a buzzword lately.
So, breathwork is basically the process of consciously connecting with your breath. The breath is something that we can control and happens voluntarily, which is what's so majestic about it, right? Because it's something you can actually work with compared to other things where you have to actually put an effort in to do. The breath is something that's innately available to us. We just have to actually take control and access of it. So, when we're doing breathwork, we're consciously connecting with the breath and shifting it between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Your sympathetic is your fight, flight instincts, and the parasympathetic is your rest and digest. So what you're doing is that you're finding a balance between these two, and you're also teaching your nervous system this way that by consciously connecting with your breath, you can actually reset your system. And find more relaxation, more breathing, more rest, digest all of it. So what happens generally during a breathwork cycle is that you go through your stress cycle, which is A, you have a trigger, it arises and you see it. B, you feel it now in your body, you're also experiencing it. Then you go down to the C, which is where you start to release it all from your system. And then you go right down, which is your rest.
Right.
And then this stress cycle starts all over again. So during a session, you end up going through all of the cycles of the stress cycle so that you reach a state of release and healing.
And when you're doing this very deliberately and consciously, that's where the impact is. Right?
Yeah, because so even during a journey, sometimes it might get too intense. So when you continue to keep breathing through this, it's like I said, you're teaching your nervous system that you can do it. That in systems of stress, even later on in life, now you are more equipped with the tools to be able to continue breathing through this stress.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your journey in this. Like what experience with breathwork made you like get this shift and, to actually get into the profession of this?
So I started breathwork 2.5 years ago at least. And I'd been doing therapy, talk therapy and trauma therapy for about 7 years at that point. And it had worked to a certain degree, but to a vast degree, it still hadn't made any of a difference because it was all stuck in my body. So as much as it helped me and gave me the words that I didn't have first, it still stayed in my body. So it hadn't fully released out of me. So when I first did breath work, I was like, what's it gonna do? It's just breathing, which I've heard also people tell me multiple amounts of times. But it instantly created a connection with me and my body, which I used to feel previously very disconnected from. Voluntarily, I chose to be disconnected because I didn't want to connect with whatever was lying in my body, whatever stuckness, pain. But after I connected with it because of breathwork, I realized that I can. And that itself was a magical realization for me. So after that, I continued to keep on going with my journey. And actually, this year itself has been so transformative for me because I not only have connected with my body in a way that I can dance now, which is something that I couldn't do before, because I was also building up these narratives of I can't dance. And then I found it in my body that I can't dance. And then also the stuckness was in my body telling me that I can't dance. And it was this narrative. And then through breathwork, I shattered the narrative. So it was completely gone now. And then I started unlearning all of these stories I told myself and felt the stuckness, the actual trauma, the impact that was lying in my body that had created this narrative to begin with. And now it's released. So I can actually move my body, dance, float. Like it's light. It's beautiful.
I feel like this is very relatable. I mean, and maybe for a lot of people as well, feeling stuck in their bodies or feeling like you're not good at something just because.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like we've done counseling. So you know this, that these are narratives that we create in our head. And these narratives then become our reality. So to change that shift in reality, you have to connect with your body. Otherwise, it's all cognitive. Otherwise, it's all talk, words,
all just in your mind.
no action.
Yeah.
The action is connecting with your body.
Right. So this is exciting. You think you could run us through a very simple breathwork technique that anyone could do, maybe when they're stressed or just when they want to, as you said, connect with their body again?
For sure. So we have something called the box breath. It's really simple. Basically, you inhale, hold, exhale, and then hold again.
So do it with me.
Yeah. Okay. So something you want to keep in mind when you're doing this is you don't want to force your breath out here. You keep it steady on everything. And even with the holds, you don't, you just allow your body to naturally hold as it goes. And then exhale and then hold. All right? Ready?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Cool. So take an inhale for 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. And hold for 2, 3, 4. And then you can continue this cycle for at least a few minutes. And you can feel automatically your nervous system starts to get a reboot.
Yeah, I can feel my shoulders relaxing, my jaw relaxing.
Yeah, and it's a very simple one. And the reason that I'm even using this one here is because it can be used in any circumstance. If you want to find balance and focus, you can use it. If you want to find relaxation, you can use it. To find clarity, to just be in any situation.
That's wonderful, and it's so simple.
So simple, and within a few minutes, you can feel the effects kick in.
Absolutely.
And then you can just do it again. Like there's nothing spectacular about it.
True, very true. And so when you're conducting a session with breathwork, are you combining counseling as well as a part of the whole thing?
Absolutely. So I've done breathwork sessions before, but they haven't had long-term effects for me sometimes. And that's the problem, that there's no long-term integration, which is what counseling helps with. So you do the counseling, which you bring in all your skills, which are so essential for the session to even be a safe space, right? You bring in your silence, your empathy, your listening, observation, all of it. You watch out for the language patterns, which you know which will be coming, which are then helpful for you to bring awareness for your client. And the point of doing the whole shebang of it all is that it gives you this base. And it also now gives your client more awareness of their body, of their intention coming in. What would they like to have more of at the end? What would they like to release? What are they working with? And what breath work does then is that it creates that connection with the body. So you have the words and then you have the body, and together you can have deeper, long-lasting actual integration. And so then at the end of the session, we take about 15-20 minutes more to actually discuss how they would like to carry on the shift that they have felt now after the session onto their life. So even if it's a one-time session, it's something that they can carry on with them ahead. So because of the counseling, we focus on the here and now. bringing awareness to your body. We focus on creating anchors that you can carry on with you later on. So even if you don't come back, you have this reminder of this shift in this moment of time that you experienced that you can always come back to, because it is always something that was always readily available to you. You made the choice, and that's what we want to do. We want to empower you to realize that you were always empowered to begin with. And that's what the whole long-term integration process would look like, taking responsibility of your healing and knowing that you have that choice.
That sounds very interesting. And the way you're saying it is that it's possible to take this in like everyday life and be able to integrate what you've learned or what you've experienced and practice it every day.
Yeah. So that's really what made the shift for me with breathwork. Because with anything, right, unless and until you're consistent with it, there isn't any long term effect. So even with breathwork, I wake up every day and I do a consistent morning little practice. And then throughout the day, I find myself doing little things, little breathwork routines of my own during the day. Like if it's as simple as it can be, as me inhaling and then sighing it away, or giving it a voice. And that's actually a huge part of breathwork, is giving yourself a voice. Even during the session, you are encouraged to release with voice, because that voice is giving you the voice that you didn't have before situations where you needed a voice. So that's the real magic of it. But that magic doesn't happen until you consistently keep going through it and taking on that process.
True. So you mentioned a little bit about the things that you do throughout the day. Could you elaborate a little bit on how you take care of your mental health and your emotional health?
Oh, a big one for me is always sighing. I make a lot. So I just take a deep inhale and then I sound it out as loud and as gutturally as I can, whatever needs to come out. So it'll be like as it doesn't matter how it sounds, but like the feeling until it doesn't come out of me will stay stuck inside of me. So throughout the day, you will find me just going from one of this one room. My parents are out there, my friends are in some other. They'll just hear me go But that's the way that I'm resetting my nervous system. I need to get it out of me, because if I don't voice it, I'm suppressing it. And that's not helpful. So grounding in general, I have a lot of essential oils around me all the time. I go for walks. Basically just keeping on that breath going, because in general in life, your breath mirrors the way you exist and live. So if you walk on the road outside right now, you'll see a lot of people walking with their hunched backs, constantly going out about their life. And you'll also notice with their posture like this that their breathing is a lot more shorter. Right? And it's because you're not fully allowing your chest to allow the breath to come through you. So it's simple things like changing your posture to allow your breath to actually go through your entire chest that can create such a big difference. So it's the little things that I try to incorporate in my life every day. Like actually like focusing on allowing my breath to come, sitting properly, focusing on how deep the quality of your breath. So it's the little things that I do that actually allow me to take care of my mental health. Yeah.
That's really interesting because I think a lot of people who are stressed today are also people who have sedentary jobs.
Yeah.
Sitting in one place for a really long time. And now that you mentioned posture, if that's impacting their breathing, then that's naturally impacting, I don't know, their anxiety levels perhaps.
Anxiety, your physical health goes to shit like that. Like you end up having a lot of heart related issues because you're always like this, because you're not actually allowing your breath to travel through you. I mean, your breath is your life, right? So if you're not breathing right, then life is not going right for whatever reasons. Yeah.
But I mean, something that's supposed to come to us so naturally, how are we getting it so wrong?
I mean, it's so simple, right? Because we're just not focusing on it. We're focusing on every single thing else in the world, which is why I love breathwork so much. Because even though it's like God, its techniques and all, at the core, at the base of it all is just your breath. And it's not me. I'm not doing something special out here. I'm just reminding you to breathe.
Right.
And the reminder to breathe always existed within you. So I'm guiding you. You're the one spearheading your own journey. You are the one at the helm of the ship taking its turn. I'm just at the back shouting directions. And that's what I love about it, because it really gives you the responsibility of your own healing. I'm just there to witness you. That's it.
I think that sounds very empowering, knowing that a small shift like this could make a difference in how my day goes. I think, if I just begin the day, as you said, with just allowing this breath to, or remind myself number of times in the day, there are a lot of things that would change actually.
It's so accessible. It's the one thing we can control. And we don't have to control at the same time. Like, it's everyone has it. There's not a single person who doesn't have it. If there is one, then they're dead. Probably. But yeah.
But tell me, if there was someone who is feeling very stuck right now in their lives, what do you think is the first step you'd ask or you suggest?
I would ask them to focus on this stuck feeling and where are they feeling this in their body. And once they focused on this, like, genuinely ask yourself, where is this lie in me? And close your eyes. Allow yourself to breathe through it. Allow your breath to travel throughout your body to notice, where am I feeling this stuckness and tension in my body? And what is it trying to tell me? What is it trying to teach me? What does it want me to know? It's so simple. You will still get some answer about what you're looking for, because your body already knows. It's just asking you to pay attention. That's simple. So pay attention to your body, pay attention to your breath. When you notice that your breath is getting dysregulated, even if it's not anxiety or panic, focus on it. What caused it to suddenly have dysregulation in between? It could be a variety of reasons, but maybe it could be something that's potentially useful for you to reflect upon. So just pay attention to your body.
I think breathwork sort of ties in the whole mind-body connection that we're talking so much about, and it's a large part of other healing processes as well, like yoga, for example.
Yeah.
Constantly talks about connecting the mind and body, and so many somatic tools you have today. Where do you see breathwork sort of fitting in to someone who's a counselor or someone who's a yoga instructor, or in general, like in the field of mental health? Where do you think, or how do you think one could integrate learning about breathwork?
So easily, right? Because breathwork can be used as a modality in any field. So you can use yoga before breathwork. Yoga can help open up your body, so that during breathwork, then your body feels more open and comfortable to be able to naturally move and shake and release. Like with counseling already, you give it the words, then you get the body in, and then you create this integration of mind, body together. So in any field, really, it's something that can really fit in very easily in the holistic healing fields in specific. So with yoga, for example, we did a session last year called the Heart Awakening Workshop, where we did yin yoga, which is basically more, you hold your poses for a longer time, and we did more heart, chest opening poses, and we held them for a longer time. And the whole point of doing that is that during breath work, there might be a lot of emotions moving through your body. It doesn't have to be any good, bad, but they're just emotions moving through your body, and they might come out in different ways. They might come out in a laugh, cry, scream, shake, whatever it is. But it could also come out in movement, which is why we encourage movement a lot during sessions. This movement is something that most people don't feel comfortable doing, because most of us end up being very stiff in our bodies, which is, I've also been like that, so I get it. But because you do more movement before, the prep of the yoga before gives you that option. Your body is already ready now for movement. So then during breath work, you might feel more easily accessible. Basically, during breath work, you might feel then like you can move more easily.
Right.
because your body is ready for it already. And you want to teach your body that movement is something that you can do.
And it's natural as you said, breathing is.
Exactly. So even during a session, if I see someone maybe moving their body a little bit, what I might do is go over to them with consent, of course, and ask and just gently help them shake their body a little bit more. And the why we do that is to exaggerate that body movement, because behind that body shaking out there, behind that leg shaking, is an emotion that's trying to come out but hasn't fully been expressed yet. So if someone's fully trashing about doing their thing, no need for me to go about doing anything out there. But if I see someone is like, it's coming, but it's still, then you can go assist them in shaking and moving their body more, creating more freedom for them within their own body to be able to release whatever isn't serving them anymore.
Right. So I understand that this is a great tool even in these holistic healing, but I feel like as a somatic and psychology counselor as well, I feel like breathwork is so essential because the minute they're a little bit, everyone's breathing better, you're thinking better, you're feeling better. And I feel like it's such a gateway or like a doorway to counseling before we begin counseling. Even something that can be used to close a session perhaps.
Yeah.
So you end on a note which is calmer, more in control, more centered, more grounded.
So you have different types of breathwork journeys. You have the short ones, which is like what I shared with you, like the box breathing.
Right.
So these are ones that are accessible to you any time of the day. A proper breathwork journey would be about 2 hours in total for me.
Okay.
Because I couple it with 1 hour of counseling plus 1 hour of the actual breathwork journey itself. And maybe, or, like half an hour, 20 minutes, 2.5 hours, let's say. And the last 20-30 minutes are of integration afterwards. So in general, a whole session is a session of its own, a long-term session. So you don't have to end it with any note, but you can take these other little short tools and use them in other different parts of your life anytime you want.
So are there any misconceptions or myths that you come across that people have, or someone who's skeptical about breathwork?
Yeah, it's just breathing. I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Like it's breathing, it's deep, conscious, connected breathing. You're actually focusing, intentionally putting your focus onto your breath, which is something you're not doing otherwise. So when you're focusing, you're resetting your nervous system, you're hacking it, you're teaching your nervous system that you can continue to breathe, you can continue to come back to your breath, you can continue to come back to a state of calmness, because you now have learned that you can. But that is something that you can only do after consciously connecting with your breath.
So what are some of like the everyday rituals or habits that you absolutely swear by and you do every single day?
I wake up in the morning and I do about 10 minutes, not more, I should do more, of Wim Hof breathing, which is basically you keep breathing in a cycle of, you do 30 rounds of conscious, connected, fast breathing. Like, you keep that cycle going all the time. So it's like 30 rounds of that. And what that basically does is that it gives you instant activation. You have energy now for starting your day. So I start my day with Wim Hof because it's like clears my mind from all of this fogginess that I've woken up with. And throughout the day, otherwise, it's just, again, like general small things that I do, which is the ha, or I hum a lot. Where I take a deep inhale, you can try it with me too. And then you exhale, you just And what this does basically is that the vibration that you're sending throughout your body, it sends balance. And that vibration also sends warmth through you. And that warmth is what gives you more relaxation, more stability, more like an anchor, like, okay, I'm going to be okay. So it's small things, but they're so impactful on an everyday basis for me. And I would not be a sane human being if I was not doing these things on an active basis. Honestly, I wouldn't be. I'm a much more grounded person now because I let things out. Before, I was keeping it all in, which meant I was always like, and that was not serving me nor the people around me. So maybe I'm loud now, but it's way better than having nothing at all.
Absolutely. So is there like a minimum age? Like how can this be taught to young kids?
It can absolutely be taught to young kids, but I would not encourage doing a longer journey with a young. I mean, you could do a longer journey too, but it would not be as intense.
Sure. But what about the smaller breath work or breathing techniques?
Absolutely, absolutely.
They benefit from it as
Yeah,
well.
it's because they're also simple, right? They're not
Yeah.
pushing your system too much. They're very simple, very accessible, and anyone can do it. So even if you want your kid to do it today, you just like inhale and sigh. And kids, they do these things a lot more easily without us needing to prompt them even. So you'll see he'll just with no issue, and it automatically for him as well will create more of a release because of this energy that was spent up now that's actually finding a way out with
I think
voice.
as a mom, I think it's going to be helpful for both of us, for me and my son.
Maybe both of you can look at each other and go together.
I'm going to try that. So, what are the various areas in our lives where we can use breathwork, or various kind of challenges that we go through? Where can this be like really helpful?
Anywhere. From mental health to physical health to if you want to even connect with yourself spiritually, you can connect with yourself. So, like any instance in life is something you can carry forth with you because, again, it's your breath. Your breath is your anchor, which means that it's always with you, which means that in any part of your life, it's something you can do.
Absolutely. I think what I've taken, I think the most from this session is that everything is breath. Everything that we do or don't do is got to do with our breathing. And if we just sort of get a hold of that or an understanding of that, our lives would be a lot easier perhaps and better, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's been a very exciting session. Thank you so much, Richa, for being a part of this podcast. How can people get in touch with you? What would be...
Okay, you can get in touch with me via my Instagram, soaring.liberty. Yeah.
Thank you, Richa, for being a part of this podcast. And thank you, everyone. And I'll see you on the next podcast.